Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Voodoo. Today I'm going to go ahead and show you the new project I picked up. I picked up from my wife, so she would have a side-by-side of her own, so she doesn't have to share a machine. So I'm going to be dressing this thing up to her liking, painting the plastics and stuff. But this is called Project Flatline. Reason being is because it was beat to death. The kid I got it off of didn't take care of it at all, and now I'm trying to get it back to looking good, back to running good. I went ahead and got the engine running correctly so I could pull it out here to show you guys exactly what's going on. So now it runs good, runs decent, I should say. There's still a few more things I gotta do to it. Transmission shifts fine now, but here she is, Project Flatline. This is a 2016 RZR 900 Trail, so it is a 50-inch. It is not the S, which is 60, and it's not the XP. This is a standard 50-inch RZR. Now, was I looking for a trail? No, but this, I couldn't pass up the deal I got on this, so I went ahead and took it. Now, when I say this thing has been beat, bushings, wheel bearings, ball joints, tie rod ends, you name it, it's worn out. I mean, we've got an A-arm here that is almost cracked in half. See if I can get the camera light good right there. You see that? Maybe we can go the other angle. Look at that. That's split. I mean, this thing has been beaten. It has been ridden and put away wet. Plastics are completely destroyed. So the rocker covers are gone. We've got some shady stuff here. The guy looks like he tried to weld it. I mean, obviously that's aluminum, that's steel. Can't weld the two together. This is a project. I mean, you name it. Things are broken on it. Plastics are cracked and busted. Front differential's loose. The bolts are just chilling there, just loose as can be. Look at underneath that chassis. It is disgusting. It has been beaten. So far it doesn't look like the frame itself is actually bent, but we'll see. It does drive straight and everything, so. But yeah, you can see, I mean, the kid beat the living snot out of this machine. The bed didn't come with the cover. I mean, it's cracked everywhere. I mean, you name it, it's broken on this. It is just broken. I mean, this is how you treated it, you know? You put it away, it's just covered in muck, covered in mud. I understand, you know, you go out mudding and have a good time, but clean your machine. It lasts longer, trust me. But this thing is just, he's got a little light bar up there, it doesn't even work. A cheap speaker, god-awful wiring. This is the trail version, so it does come with a turf mode, which I'm not a big fan of, but it is what it is. I mean, look at that. It's just, this thing is beat. The floor's been patched down here. It's got a huge crack in it. There's missing body panels, body parts, you name it. There's that crack I was telling you about. The front differential has, it exploded pretty much. The pinion and spider gears had eaten through each other, so it doesn't have four-wheel drive as of right now. Needs a new diff. or rebuild at least. But yeah, you name it, this thing, it's sad. To me, it's sad how somebody can have a machine like this and treat it like this. This is a 2016. This is a 2016, and the door didn't even want to close. Look at that. It's a 2016, and it is trashed. Absolutely trashed. Everything. Like I said, ball joints, wheel bearings, bushings, it's all gone. It just all gone. I mean, the steering, everything that can be worn out is worn out. All the U-joints. He did replace the center carrier bearing, but he replaced it with some extremely cheap product, so I'll be replacing that as well. Like I said, you name it, it's broken. It's just, this is sad, to say the least. It's sad. Now, the things that it did come with, it does have a lift bracket. I'm not the biggest fan of a lift bracket, but it does have one, so I'll probably keep it on there. It did come with these 28-inch mud tires. I mean, they're like gators, like gator tires, with wheel spacers on YXZ rims. And obviously those tires are gonna, they'll do what you want them to do in the mud, but they're not meant for everyday use as far as trail riding. So it's got broken axles on it. Yeah, it's a project, to say the least. When I say it was Project Flatline, when I picked it up, it was Project Flatline. I did get the thing running pretty decent. I'll fire it up here, show you. I mean, we got cracks in the floors and everything. I mean, it did come with both seats. I just stuck the passenger seat in over here because it was light. But service, the indicator, well, it just went off. But one thing I'm trying to figure out is it doesn't show me that I'm in park. It'll show me when I'm in reverse. It'll show me when I'm in neutral, low, or high, but it doesn't show me anything else. And yes, the voltage regulator is bad as well. It doesn't want to charge. So, but the electric power steering is working. It wasn't when I first got it. Found out it was a bad wire, so I fixed that real quick. I was basically trying to fix it so I could move it in and out of the shop whenever I needed the space to work on any other vehicles, any customer cars or anything. So I wanted to be able to move it, hence why I didn't make a video. When I first got it at the shop. I do have a few pictures on the trailer, but I mean, this thing is beat. It's beat. But right now it runs. Sticker in low. Everything on this unit is in need of attention. But it's running. Not running the greatest, but it's running. So we get her in high. You could hear that front diff just knocking around. She'll move now. So for a 900, it feels pretty quick for a 900. For what it is, it's not bad. Not bad at all. She just needs some work. But I said the only one that doesn't want to register is Park. But here it is, guys. RZR 900 Trail 2016. New project, new member to the YouTube family. It's going to be a good machine for my wife after I'm done with it. Unfortunately, I didn't take a video pulling the plastics off, putting the plastics back on. Of course, there'll probably be a video, but pulling the plastics off, I ended up power washing it, using the foam gun, using the regular hose. Spent a couple hours spraying and spraying and spraying it to try to get it as clean as I possibly could before I started taking it apart. Let it dry for a little bit, and I was just kind of sitting there looking at it. Started ripping the broken plastics off of it. Now, in order to clean your machine, I think at least twice a year, the machine needs to be disassembled from their plastics. You don't have to completely disassemble it, but I think it's a good idea to take the plastics off your machine, whether it's Yamaha, Honda, Polaris, whatever it might be. Take the plastics off, because you are going to find places that a hose and water never gets to, and you'll never get it actually clean. So side cover's on right here. This is the kicker cover, and there's a big chunk of mud right there. Big massive chunk of mud right there, and along with right there. This area right here is going to fill up with mud, and you're never going to be able to spray inside there and clean it out. So if you took that panel off, you'd be able to clean the inside of the panel, and you'd be able to clean inside the frame area, which will prevent rust and everything like that. But as much as I spent hours, and I mean hours, spraying this thing down, it is still caked full of muck and full of mud. That's why I said it's best to take your machine apart at least twice a year, take the plastics off so you can get into all the cracks and crevices. You get a hose in here, spray inside the frame area. You know, you'll be able to get in these areas that you can't get to with a hose. You'll be able to spray in there, you know, spraying in here in these areas right here, because you can see there's quite a bit of muck and mud and everything in there. And there was a pile of mud here. I mean, you couldn't even see the thermostat housing right here. There was so much muck and so much mud, and I did my best to clean it out as much as I possibly could. But still, look down here, still gobs of mud stuffed down in these little crevices, these little cracks. I mean, you've got mud everywhere that you're not going to be able to get to with your hose, so it's best just to disassemble and take care of the mud while it's there. Now I kind of cheat. I've got my river. I've got the Wildcat Creek basically right in my backyard, so during the summertime, I don't do it in the wintertime, but during the summertime, if I'm out mudding and stuff in any of my machines and it's really dirty, I usually take my machine inside the river and drive it around inside the river, because that water is going to break up as much as the mud as it can, and 90% of the time when you pull the machine out of the river, it's relatively clean on the bottom, because it washes all that muck and mud, all those little cracks and little cricks and crevices and everything are washed away. Now, since I've got the plastic off, it's a little easier to show you that crack that I was talking about right there. I'm trying to get it so the light doesn't hit it all at once. But you see that crack there? The upper A-arm is gone. It's destroyed. So that's gonna need to be replaced. But anyway, I mean, I tried my hardest to get all the mud and gunk and everything out of this area. But like you can see, no matter what, you're still gonna have that mud and that muck that you just can't get to. But here it is so far. So I got a few other projects in front of this, so working on those before I actually get started hardcore on this. But right now all the plastics are torn off of it. The bed, of course, you guys saw, was completely destroyed, so I ordered a new bed. These are OEM parts, but I bought them from cheap cycle parts. They're a hell of a lot cheaper than going through the dealership. But I got all those and they're already here, so I got them in a box. So I have all new fresh plastics for this machine. Got bushings for it. So the things that we're going to be replacing on this is the turf mode motor itself was bad, so it was binding up. I went ahead and took it off to get it to move. So it needs a turf mode motor. Not a big fan of turf mode, but this machine's got it on it, so I'll probably eventually get the lockout for it. But as far as the engine goes, it needs a tune-up, needs a valve cover gasket, or the rocker cover gasket, whichever one you want to call it. Front differential, drive shaft going from the transmission to the front diff, carrier bearing, bushings, wheel bearings, ball joints, brakes, a caliper, a brake hose, some skid plates. Got the plastics for it already. Just a few odds and ends stuff, you know, oil change, transmission fluid change, that kind of stuff. So, but oh, I wanted to show you this too. So the guy broke a brake line, so he took the caliper off, the whole system off here, caliper and everything, kept the rotor on, but he ended up using a 9mm wrench in there to fill the gap for the old brake hose. That's a brilliant idea. That's genius. That's a genius idea there. But that is a trail, that's a trail fix. This is meant so you can keep wheeling for the day or whatever, but you want to replace that as soon as possible. Because obviously this side over here won't have any brake effect, and that could get you in trouble on the trail. It's a good way to get yourself out of a sticky situation, but I definitely wouldn't run it constantly. So you get that fixed so you can continue to wheel on the trail, but go back to camp, get yourself a brake line, order a brake line from somewhere, parts store, off-road parts store near you, wherever you're at, and get that thing fixed. So that is as a simple trail fix, but don't rely on that. Don't, please, don't throw something like that in there just to drive around forever, because it ain't gonna work. But so far, so if you guys like the video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. There will be more on Project Flatline here in the future. And thank you for watching.